Hello students, today we are going to discuss about cleavage and implantation. So first of all, let me start with the journey which we have already learned in last lecture, what happened with the sperm cell and what happened with the ovum. Okay, so first of all, during copulation, semen is released by the penis into the vagina and it is called insemination. Okay, so what is the insemination? Insemination is the process which happens during the copulation. Semen is released by the penis into the vagina and it is called insemination. So first of all, let me see what is the journey of its sperm cell and what is the journey of a ovum. Okay, so first of all, after entry inside the vagina, the sperm cell will be reach up to the cervical canal, then it will reach up to the uterus, then it will reach up to the isthmus, and then finally it will be remain at the point where is the ampullary isthmic junction is there. Okay, and similarly here in case of ovum, from the ovary when it is released during ovulation, it will released and then travel along the fimbris, then it will reach up to the infundibulum and then it will reach up to the ampulla and finally it will be at the ampullary isthmic junction. And this is the region or a junction where fertilization event will occur. Okay, so what is the meaning of a fertilization? Fertilization is a fusion of a sperm. Here you can see sperm cell will fuse with the egg cell. Okay, so fusion of a sperm with an ovum is called fertilization, and it will occur in a ampullary isthmic junction of a fallopian tube. You know very well what is the ampullary isthmic junction of a fallopian tube. Fertilization happens only if ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously. You must be very clear about this. Both ovum and sperm must be transported simultaneously as the ampullary isthmic region. Otherwise, this fertilization may not occur. Okay, so all copulation, that's why what happened? It must be simultaneously occur. So all copulation or a sexual intercourse do not lead to fertilization or a pregnancy. A sperm comes in the contact with the zona pellucida. You know very well what is the process. It will come in contact with the zona pellucida of the egg cell. Okay, and it induces changes in the membrane that block the entry of additional sperm. As I told you in last lecture, the entry will be of only one sperm, and that process is called monospermy. Okay, that phenomena is called monospermy. Only one sperm cell will enter inside the ovum. Okay, and this is due to changes occur inside the membrane and that will block the entry. You know very well at that time calcium will be released and at the result of that it will block the entry of other sperm cells. Okay, and the secretion of acrosome, you know, on the tip of this. Okay, here this is a sperm cell on which there is a acrosome. Okay, so secretion from that, that is acrosomal secretion, will help the sperm cell to enter into the egg. Okay, and inside the egg, it will be enter into the cytoplasma first and via zona pellucida. You know very well, it will enter via zona pellucida and plasma membrane. And these will cause second meiotic division. You know very well. After entry of a sperm cells only, this egg cell will undergo second division of a meiosis. These will cause second meiotic division of a secondary oocyte to form an ovum, and finally after second meiosis this secondary oocyte will convert into ovum, that is also called as a oocyte, and now second polar body will also generated. Okay, and the haploid nuclei of a sperm and ovum, you know very well, this is the haploid nuclei, and here also egg will also having a haploid nuclei. So the haploid nuclei of a sperm and haploid nuclei of a ovum both will fuse together. Both are haploid in structure. Okay, and they will fuse together and to form diploid zygote. So finally diploid zygote will be the result. So now onward, let me understand what happened after zygote formation. So after zygote formation, that zygote will undergo mitotic division. Here a special kind of mitotic division will occur and that is called cleavage. Okay, so let me understand what is a cleavage and all that. But before that, let me summarize what happened with the zygote. Okay, so mitotic division in form of a cleavage, a special kind of a cleavage type of a division will occur here. We will learn in detail. So here mitotic division will start as the zygote moves through the isthmus towards the uterus. Okay, and it will start moving towards the isthmic region, from isthmic region to uterus, and it will start forming two cell structure. Here you can see this is a 2 cell stage, then it will be undergo a 4 stage, then 8 cells, then 16 cells. Okay, and 2, 4, 8 and 16 daughter cells, and now individually they are calling as a blastomere. So here these all are blastomeres. Okay, that is the result of cleavage, a special kind of mitotic division. The embryo with 8 to 16 blastomere, here you can see this is the 8 to 16 blastomere stage, and such a condition, such a situation or such a stage is called morula. Okay, so this condition you can see here 8 to 16 blastomeres are there in one cell. Okay, and such a condition is called morula. Okay, and now morula will continue to divide and transform it into the blastocyst. So here this you can see this is a blastocyst. So now let me try to understand what is a cleavage. Okay, as I told you, all will happen means zygote will undergo cleavage and form a morula and then blastocyst. So let me see what is a cleavage and how it is different from mitosis. The type of a cleavage is a holoblastic. So first of all, let me understand what is a holoblastic. So here you can see this whole cell will undergo division, right? And here you can see a part of a cell will undergo division. So if a part of a cell is undergo division, that is called a meroblastic. Okay, and if whole cell is undergoing this type of a cleavage, then it is called holoblastic. So here in case of a human, you must be very clear that here a cleavage is of a holoblastic, because here what happened, a microlethal condition is that. That means inside this cell there is a very less amount of nutrients are there. Okay, that is called microlethal condition, because cell will have very less amount of nutrition. Okay, so this type of a cleavage is called holoblastic. Because why it is holoblastic type of a cleavage? Because here microlethal condition is there of egg cell and it will be indeterminate. Okay, and the first division, that is called cleavage, occurs at about 36 hours after the fertilization. Means after fertilization, cleavage will initiate after 36 hours. Okay, and the blastomere are equal in size. Here you can see all blastomere. Here 2 blastomeres, here 4. Okay, all blastomere will be having equal size. Let me see here what happened with during the cleavage. Here you can see only one cell is there. Okay, then it will be undergo 2 cell condition, then 4 cell condition, but the size of a cell remains same. Here you can see. Okay, size of a cell will remain same, and also it is surrounded by zona pellucida. It will be covered by the zona pellucida. Okay, and this type of mitosis or this type of cell division is called cleavage. So what is a morula stage? So morula is the cell when the number of blastomere reach up to 16 to 32 cells. Okay, the solid ball-like structure, here you can see solid ball-like structure. It will look like a mulberry. Okay, so such a situation or such a structure is called morula. So now let me understand more about morula. At this stage, at the morula stage, the cells start to bind firmly. Here you can see each cells are binding towards each other. Okay, and here you can see tight cell junctions are found. Okay, and this type of process of a bind firmly together is called compaction. Okay, here you can see compaction will occur in between all cells. The cells of a morula become bound tightly. Okay, and together, and the outer surface of a blastomere flatten. Here you can see outer surface will be flattened. Okay, and against each other. So this type of situation is called compaction. Point to be noted about the morula. This tightly packed arrangement is stabilized by tight junctions. Okay, that forms between the outer cell of a morula. Okay, so be very clear. Tight junctions will be there, which will stabilize the arrangement. The cells within the sphere form gap junctions. Within the sphere, it will form the gap junction, which help in better passage of a substance between them. Okay, and the tiny embryo is still surrounded by zona pellucida. Means whole structure, whole morula structure is still surrounded by zona pellucida. So these points are very important to be noted. After morula means on the completion of a morula stage, and that is a completion of a cleavage also. Okay, or a blastulation also. The embryo has a central cavity. Here you can see one cavity will be formed, and this cavity is called blastocele, and the process of a formation of a blastocele is called cavitation. So be very clear what is a cavitation. Here one space is generated. Okay, so the central cavity will be formed and that is called blastocell, and the formation of a blastocell is specifically called cavitation. The process of a formation of blastocell is called cavitation. That will be appear after completion of a cleavage, means after the morula stage. So after completion of a cleavage, now the embryo has a superficial flat cell layer. So let me see what is a superficial flat cell layer. The superficial cell layer on the exterior of this embryo, or early embryo we can say, will develop into trophoblast. Okay, so here you can see the outermost layer is called trophoblast, and it is also considered sometimes as a trophectoderm. Okay, that is the outer epithelium of the blastocyst. That's why it is called trophectoderm. Okay, so here you can see this is the trophoblast, and that is a superficial flat cell layer, and inner side you can observe inner cell mass, this one. Okay, this is the inner cell mass. Okay, and inside which ones here you can see blastocylic cavity is there. So after morula stage, next stage will be blastocyst. Okay, so at that stage, some fluid is secreted into blastocell, and here you can see, okay, the cavity of an embryo, that is called blastocell. Okay, so some fluid will be secreted into the blastocell. As the quantity of the fluid is increased, the embryo acquire the shape of a cyst. Okay, and that is called blastocyst. The inner cell mass, that is also called formative cells, give rise to embryo proper, that is the main embryonic portion, and hence constitute the embryoblast. Okay, and some fetal membranes also risen. Then they are the source of an pluripotent cell. You must be very clear here. Okay, they are the source of all the pluripotent cell, that is the embryonic stem cell lines. Okay, from which so many type of organs will be generated from these cells. In addition to embryo proper, the inner cell mass give rise to the extra embryonic membranes also. So be very clear here also. So in addition with the embryo proper, the inner cell mass also give rise to the extra embryonic membrane. The blastocyst is formed while the early embryo passes through the fallopian tube. So be very clear here also. So fallopian tube, this blastocyst will be formed during the passing towards the uterus, means inside the fallopian tube they will travel. So let me summarize up to this. The blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged into an outer layer. The each cell is now called blastomere, and it will arrange into the layer, that is outer layer, and that outer layer, specifically that name for the outer layer is a trophoblast, and the inner group of cells, that is called inner cell mass, and attached to the trophoblast. Okay, here you can see it will attach to the inner cell mass, or attached to the trophoblast. The trophoblast layer then gets attached to the endometrium. Okay, then attachment with the endometrium is called implantation. We will learn in detail in next slides. Okay, what happened during this. And after that, means after implantation, next process will be differentiated into the 3-germ layer, that is the outer ectoderm, means this process will occur after implantation. Okay, and the inner cell mass get differentiated into 3-germ layer, outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm. These 3 layered structure is called gastrula. Okay, we will learn in detail in next slides. So let me summarize whole thing by using this diagram also. So first of all, you know very well this ovary will release the egg cell. Okay, that is in the form of a secondary oocyte, and that process is called ovulation. Now this secondary oocyte will travel towards the fimbriae and this region, this is infundibulum region. Then these will travel along the fallopian tube. Okay, so this fertilization process will occur here. You can see here the sperm cells. Okay, so sperm cell will reach up to this. This is the ampullary isthmic region. Okay, and there a fertilization event will occur. And after fertilization, all of you know very well, this will be day 0. Okay, and it will travel along with this. Okay, and now this zygote will be formed, and then zygote will undergo some processes. Here you can see a cleavage process, that is a day 1. Okay, inside the fallopian tube, this whole process will occur inside the fallopian tube. So after cleavage, you can see 2 cell structure, 4 cell structure, that will be in day 3. Then here you can see 8 to 16 cell structure, that is a morula. Then here you can see this one is a blastocyst. Okay, the outermost layer is the trophoblast, and that inner cell mass. Okay, and now next what happened? Now that is called implantation. Okay, so now onward in next slides we will learn about implantation. First of all, let me define implantation process. What is the implantation process? So implantation process occur after, you can see here, first of all these secondary oocyte will fertilize with the sperm cells. Then the sperm cells will give rise to the zygote formation. Then after zygote formation, here you can see it will convert into 2-cell stage, then 4-cell stage. This whole process is called a cleavage process. Up to this it is called cleavage process. Okay, and finally you can understand after morula stage it will undergo a blastocyst. Means here you can see blastocyst will form. Now this blastocyst is ready, means it is travel along this fallopian tube and it will reach up to the wall of a uterus. And now this blastocyst is ready for the implantation, will attach to the wall of a uterus. Okay, after attachment on the uterine wall, a uterine cell will start dividing rapidly, and as a result of that, the blastocyst which is attached on the wall of a uterus or in the endometrium, so this blastocyst will hold covered with the uterine cell. Okay, so after attachment, uterine cell will divide fast and cover the blastocyst, and as a result, the blastocyst will become embedded here in the wall of a uterus, especially in the endometrium, and this whole process is called implantation. So let me understand whole process in detail. What happened during implantation? The blastocyst, when reach up to the wall of a uterus, it will hatch out. Okay, means the come out of the envelope. You know very well up to this blastocyst stage, this whole structure is covered by the zona pellucida. So first of all, what happened? A blastocyst will be hatching out or come out of the envelope. The envelope will be removed over here. Okay, that is also called zona hatching because here zona pellucida layer will be removed. Okay, the zona pellucida, and this removal of zona pellucida will occur with the help of one enzyme, and that enzyme is a trypsin. So be very clear here what happened, how this hatch out will occur with the help of a trypsin enzyme. Okay, and later the cell of a zona pellucida gradually disappear. As a result of that, this whole structure of a zona pellucida surrounding this blastocyst will be disappear, and that process is called zona hatching, and this will occur with the help of trypsin enzyme. As a result of a removal of a zona pellucida, the cells of a trophoblast stick to the uterine endometrium. Okay, now trophoblast layer become naked, and as a result of that, it will come in contact with the wall of a uterus. Okay, especially in the endometrium layer. So the cell of a trophoblast will stick to the uterine endometrium, and it will form a part of a fetal part. Okay, here it will be form the part of a fetal part and the placenta later. Okay, it will form the placenta later on. The trophoblast invade the endometrium of the uterus. Here you can see it will embed inside this. The process of implantation begin on the 6th day after fertilization. So how much days will be required for the implantation process? The process of implantation begin on the 6th day after fertilization. Means after fertilization, 6th day will be required for the implantation. The process of implantation is aided by proteolytic enzymes, as I told you. So this produced by the cells of a trophoblast. This enzyme will be produced by the trophoblast. Okay, that's why this trophoblast layer become naked and the removal of zona pellucida occur. So if zona pellucida is remain attached, then this is not possible. Means this proteolytic enzyme activity will not possible. Okay, that's why this zona pellucida layer will be removed before that. Okay, and that's why this proteolytic enzyme can work on that, and as a result of that, here you can see implantation process will occur. Okay, so this structure you can see here, this is the inner cell mass, this is outer layer, that is a trophoblast layer. Now this trophoblast layer starts secretion enzyme, which is a degrading type of a proteolytic type of enzymes, and as a result of that, this endometrium will be degraded. This portion of endometrium will be degraded, and this whole structure will be embedded inside the uterine wall. After blastocyst embedded inside the wall of a uterus or inside the endometrium, the trophoblast will thicken out. Okay, and through cell division, that will occur due to cell division. Then you can see here this trophoblast layer will be thickened over here, in this region. Okay, now the wall of a trophoblast will develop into villi. Okay, that is a trophoblastic villi, and that branch and project into the highly vascular uterine endometrium. Here you can see the branches. Okay, and why this happen? What is the role of a trophoblastic villi? It will draw nourishment for the embryo. Okay, from the mother, it will draw the nourishment for the embryo. That's why this trophoblastic villi. Now, trophoblast will differentiate it into two structures. Let me see one after another. So, first of all, it will differentiate into inner cellular layer, and that is called cytotrophoblast, and that is also considered as a cellular trophoblast. And the specific name for that is a layer of a Langerhans. Okay, that is made up of cuboidal epithelial cells. So be very clear, what is a layer of Langerhans? It is a modification or a differentiation of a trophoblast, nothing else. Second differentiated structure from trophoblast is the outer syncytial trophoblast, and that is a layer of a fused cell. Okay, so here you can see that is a layer of a fused cell. Okay, and whole embryo along with its membrane is called conceptus. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize whole topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
A little more than a day after its formation, the zygote starts moving down the fallopian tube. Simultaneously, the zygote also undergoes mitotic division, and with each successive division, the number of daughter cells doubles. This division is termed as cleavage, while the resultant daughter cells are called blastomeres. About 3 days after fertilization, the zygote contains nearly 8 to 16 cells and is called a morula. Over a period of 2 days, the morula descends down into the uterus and transforms itself into a blastocyst, a hollow ball composed of about 100 blastomeres, which are arranged in 2 layers. The outer layer, called the trophoblast, eventually gives rise to the placenta, while the inner layer, consisting of a group of cells called the inner cell mass, eventually differentiates to form the embryo. Interestingly, at the blastocyst stage, the zygote, now called the embryo, gets attached to the uterus as the trophoblast grows outwards and penetrates the endometrial lining of the uterus. In response, the endometrial cells divide and start surrounding the blastocyst. This causes the blastocyst to sink and get implanted into the uterus. Once implantation has occurred, pregnancy gets initiated. Moreover, after implantation, inner cell mass cells get differentiated and begin to form the embryo. Embryo formation is thus a complex process that begins with fertilization and ends with implantation of the embryo. The joys of holding a newborn baby know no bounds. The birth of a baby is an intricate and complex process that begins when the zygote undergoes cleavage and develops into a blastocyst, a hollow ball consisting of a trophoblast, an inner cell mass, and a cavity called blastocele. As the trophoblast grows outwards and penetrates the endometrial lining of the uterus, the blastocyst, with a developing embryo, gets implanted in the uterus and pregnancy is initiated.
In next lecture, we will learn about gastrulation and pregnancy. So till that, goodbye.